Well, good evening.
Hey, hey.
Hello, Dr. Matt.
How's it going, my friend?
It is going. It's
Yeah.
going just like I explained before we got on. It was it was a busy day.
Yeah.
Um yeah, dude, I feel a little sluggish today. It's kind of
Yeah.
weird. Kind of felt like that all day. Like from about after breakfast, did my ritual, and then I had to head out the door to Denver. Actually, no, I didn't leave right away. Then I was in the office for a bit, but I just kind of felt like kind of weak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, and I don't know if it was the breakfast that I had or dinner. We had pizza for dinner last night. I don't know. I still kind of feel like almost like that blood sugar crash, but
Oh, yeah.
it's not. It's something else. It's weird. And I've been really thirsty all day, but I've been drinking water. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. It's probably just old age,
Yeah, blame it on that.
Right, because it's easy to do that, right?
Yeah.
That must be it. Define old age, sir.
Exactly. It's just convenient to do that.
Yeah. Well, I actually don't usually do that, but
Right.
I don't know. It's weird. Kind of just almost like, and the other thing I noticed is there's something new that has definitely been blossoming outside.
Yeah.
Because I've been like this morning, I couldn't stop sneezing in the shower, and I was like, I just felt like there's stuff on me. I got a little bit of phlegm. In fact, speaking of water, get the Yeti water. See, we're gonna advertise this for a second because this is really, really cool. These Yeti, everybody knows Yeti for their coolers,
Right.
but they make these water bottles out of obviously the same technology. And I can leave this in my truck in the middle of the summer all day. It will not get warm.
Yeah.
No ice in it.
Yeah, they make like coffee cups and all kinds of stuff too for other so yeah, it'll keep it hot too if you're into that.
Yeah, I suppose if I put coffee in here, it would be it'd be steaming, beaming hot all day.
Or soup,
tea, whiskey.
Yep, the important
things.
things.
Probably not advisable while at the job site, but
nah, you would know better about that. Yeah,
you'd think. You'd think. Yeah, but these are great, and I would like to thank my cousin Evan for this because he didn't actually buy it for me. He got them for free. Maybe I should thank Santander, his company.
Yeah,
but anyway, he gave me one. Gift. I think that's where I got it. Yeah. Anyway, these are expensive, apparently.
Yeah, not cheap.
No, I mean I know the coolers are expensive, but anyway, that's my water bottle of choice. Except the funny thing is, it doesn't fit in my cup holders of my truck.
Right.
Because they're too small. They fit in the 4Runner. It fits in there nicely, cool. But so I have to take a different water bottle. Anyway, I digress
tough,
on
man.
that.
It's tough.
Tough life, I tell you what.
It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
So
here we are. Live stream episode 8 of Building Wealth and Health. Welcome to everyone that's here. We are going to discuss a couple interesting things. I would like to discuss, again, going back and kind of like really pushing the momentum on this energy with money, this relationship with money.
Yeah.
You can't build stuff if you don't have a good standing relationship with it, whether it be with somebody else, with your family, with your career, with food, all these things, money especially. If you don't like money and you're scared of it, turned off by it, whatever, it's going to be hard to create a stream that's going to grow for you, as we keep talking about on these streams. But I want to talk about another aspect of how you can kind of create that energy in that relationship with money, and it has to do with the thing that really most of us are not good about, and that's being disciplined once you start to gain the green stuff in your pocket.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, good talk.
Yeah. And I am excited to talk about the two brains of our body.
Yeah.
Get your mind out of the gutter. It is not.
Yeah.
It is on the lower half, but it is not what you're thinking. The other brain is the obvious one that's up here in your cranium. But yeah, so Dr. Matt's going to talk about that. And it's a really cool, I've learned about it from him over the years, but it's a really cool like connection. And he's going to kind of get into that and what that all means with our bodies. Maybe that's what's going on with mine today. Maybe my second brain is, there's something in there that it's not happy with. And it's basically like, hey man,
yeah,
we need to fix this up a little bit. So we're gonna get into that here in a little bit too. But so discipline with money is an interesting topic because, like I said, I don't think many people have a very good understanding of what it is and very good discipline with it.
Yeah.
Starting with when we're kids.
Yeah.
And most people out there, and I have two of my own at home, and I've watched them have this relationship with money. And it's an interesting relationship, and the discipline that comes with it is something that you have to really teach and build upon, I think. Yeah. And I don't think many people have been taught that very well. It's not taught in school at all, obviously. I think you're not taught as a kid because most parents don't have good discipline, right?
Totally.
And that's where we are in life, I think, with, at least, especially in this country, but a lot of other countries, there's this, as we talked about last week, what it means. And then we talked about the history of central banking and what that paper is and the digital aspect of it. Bottom line is it comes in, it goes out. And that energy, like we talked about, has to continue, right? It's got to go out and it will return. And you have to be okay with that. But that doesn't mean chuck all of it out there and think it's going to come back tenfold.
Right.
And there's lots of stuff.
That's an interesting balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just hoard it and like hang on to it, and but you also don't want to just. And I like the idea of discipline with that. Kind of like what. Yeah, like say more about that. Like, what do you like? How does that?
Yeah, so I think there's several different versions of what it is, and you kind of touched on one thing, which is hoarding money. And I know a lot of people out there that worked very, very hard over the years. Some of them young, some of them not so young, but and some of us in between like us that have made a lot of money, and they could have made a lot more, or still can, if they don't hoard it. And that's the aspect of discipline, where it's like you have to give some out and not just basically go out and buy a new car or blow it on a night at the bar. It's putting it out somewhere, like we've talked about, and having it work for you, but you have to let go of it. You can't literally keep it under your pillow, or as some of these guys I'm talking about, these people that I'm talking about, literally have millions of dollars just sitting in a bank account, not even a savings account, just a checking account. It's doing nothing. They say how much money they've saved up. Yeah, but imagine if you had $3 million that's sitting in your bank account right now. Are you going to spend $3 million tomorrow? Do you need that for the entire month? If you do, we need to have another discussion. But what are you doing putting $3 million in your bank account? What is that? Why? Imagine in just 1 month, the interest you could have gained on that, just general interest. I'm talking like a money market, even a savings account.
Yeah.
Well, what would that have done for you?
Right. I mean, that's so much lack of education that people have around like investing in general. And, I was reading recently about how, and this, but like the actual numbers were interesting to me, like the average return over the years in the stock market is around 10%.
Yep. On average.
Is on average, right? Sometimes less, sometimes more, but so yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic return, from for a long-term investment. And it doesn't mean you go and speculate on crazy stocks, right? But it's like the kind of the overall energy of that trajectory is generating something.
Right. No, it is. It's generating an energy that's going to slingshot back. And that's, if you want to look at it in the force of the world, that's exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
Keeping it in a bank account isn't going to make any more money for you. So all you're going to continue to do the rest of your life, if you're trying to build a retirement,
Right.
is you're just going to keep working, and just keep stuffing it. I mean, putting it in a checking account is literally, you might as well just put it under a damn pillow. In fact, it's probably better for you to put it under a pillow or in a safe in your house, because guess what that bank's doing with that money?
Yeah.
You know, it's not making any for you.
Right.
And not only that, is if you want to go withdraw it tomorrow, there's a possibility you may not be able to take all of it out. And
big possibility of that. Yeah.
And with digital issues, what do we talk about with insurance, with the FDIC?
Right. That could be gone.
Mean, take it out of the account then. Just put it on your, literally put it on your pillow. If you're going to be that way with it, which is not disciplined, then you should just stick it under your pillow. And then I don't know what you're going to do with it. Like, just sit on it, because you can't take it with you. If you've got next to kin, if you got kids, if you got brothers, sisters, whoever, at some point, someone else needs, if you're building it forever, someone else is going to be able to use some of that money to continue to grow. So that's part of being disciplined with it, is taking that. And that's what I tell people too, is have that ability to, if you want to make lots of money, why? And what are the other things you can do with it? Because you can actually go out, and money can actually help other people if you're disciplined with it in the same respect. You can gain a bunch of wealth and go help others and help them gain wealth if you teach them the same disciplines. So there's that group of people that I know about. In fact, I've dealt with investors, and they have plenty of money to go in on these investments, right? And they're interested. They call me up, say, Shane, what are you doing? This looks cool. I want to be part of it. And I'm like, well, here's the deal. You have to be in this mindset. This is what's going on. This is what you have to put up. And they're just, they can't make a decision. They want to do it, but they can't make a decision. And I have to walk them through it. I have to, this is how it's going to work. This is when your money will be returned. This is how much money you'll make. I mean, 10% of $3 million is what? It's 300 grand.
Yeah. 300 grand. Yep.
You know, if you're doing hard money, let's just to say it's a hard money lender at 8 to 10%, even 5%, it's $150K in 9 months of investment. That's not bad if you're doing a $3 million investment.
Nope.
You know,
that's great.
So go over a few years of doing that, and you've made that $3 million back. Now that principal is basically doubled for you.
Right.
That's part of being disciplined with money. So like I said, that's like one group of people that are undisciplined with money. It's the people that literally won't let go of a penny in order to make more of it. And the funny part is they've made money, so that these people are coming to me or others wanting to get involved in something because what they've done to make this money, they're now tired of doing. They're looking for something else, right? If they were loving what they did, then they wouldn't. I mean, of the undisciplined variety, they're looking for something else to do.
You know, what's funny is they're probably super duper disciplined in that particular way of making money.
Sure, because they didn't spend any, right?
Well,
the spending part,
and to make it, you know, just the process of building whatever they built to make it, you know, was a very disciplined process. But yet, this other relationship with money is skewed, I guess, for a better way.
Their overall discipline with the relationship is very poor. It's not in a good place. And that's why they're going to, as they get, I mean, because there's a certain point where you're going to retire. You almost have to, unless you work for yourself and, you know, you can dabble, but you're going to slow down.
Sure.
And what's that money going to do for you when you're 65, 70 years old, if you're unwilling to let go of any of it? Well, part of retirement is, although I have my opinions about some of what that means, is going off and doing all the things you weren't able to do while you're working a lot, right? And making all that money. But I think you should enjoy some of that now, because you want to wait until you're 75, 80 years old and there's not much you can do, or much less that you can do. But that's kind of the idea. But you got to be able to, at that point, you got to be able to spend it. You got to be able to put it out there so it comes back. And if you don't get to that point earlier on, it's going to be really hard to enjoy it later.
Totally.
So that group, it's funny, I've dealt with them a lot, and some of them I can kind of get on that train, and once they get there and they do even their first investment, it's like, whoa, it's just mind blowing, right? Their eyes are popping out of their head, like, and then now that's like crack. They want to go. Let's do some more. I'm like, now you have to be disciplined in this respect. Like, you have to, let's take everything as with, you know, evaluation. That's all the stuff we talk about. And, you know, we want to use the money properly and be disciplined with it, but you have to be willing to be patient as well. And that's part of the discipline part. So the other group of people is the people that can't keep $5 in their pocket.
Yeah.
The minute they make any money, and these are the more like the paycheck to paycheck kinds of mentality, where it's, and then some of them still make lots of money, but they're just earning it as soon as it comes in. It's just new car, new mountain bike, new TV.
Right.
They're buying things that are not assets, that are not going to grow. They're not taking a chunk and being disciplined and putting it away and not touching it. And that's putting it away into something that's growing, like we've talked about with all our, between stocks, ETFs, even bonds, real estate, all the things we've been talking about here. That's where you need to take those chunks and move it aside. It's putting it back out there and it returns.
Yep.
That's the discipline part. These guys don't even hold on to it long enough to even think about putting it in one of those places. And I mean, I can think of two groups within this undisciplined group that have, some of them make, like I said, lots and lots of money. I mean, I'm talking like 7-figure incomes.
Wow.
And they're just leveraged to the teeth in debt, and not good. And this is not debt. Like we talked about what debt is in the 4-letter word.
Right.
It's bad debt. It's, they're overspending. They're shockingly spending more than they're making. Cars, motorcycles, boats, clothes, jewelry, video games, whatever it is. It's out the window. And they're always like, "Hey, Shane, check out what I got this week. Check out this new." And I'm like, "Ooh, that's nice." I'm jealous, especially the stuff that I'm into. And at the same time going, I know what's happening. And so undisciplined. And it's funny because you get a mentality where you have to justify your actions as humans. And that group of people justifies their actions when I say, "Man, you should just think, if you, instead of buying these 2 things, you would have taken that money and put it in, to whatever company or whatever mutual fund, how much it would have grown in just 1 month." They're just like, "Man, that's all a hoax. That's, that's rigged." They're justifying not doing it, because I can continually show them, well, here's how much I've invested, and here's what I've done over the last few years. And they're just like, "Man, that's a gamble. It's, you might as well just go to the casino, blah, blah." They're justifying their actions. Right.
Sure.
Which is, again, a poor relationship with money.
Yeah.
So there's that group. And then there's the group that doesn't make any money and they still can't hold 5 in their pocket. Right.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my nose just started itching. Awesome.
See? Yep.
But yeah. But it's really interesting. I mean, and we all can probably put ourselves in one of those groups to some degree, right? Like how we, or different times in our life where we've been in different places like that, and relate to that. So I don't think it's necessarily, there's no judgment in it. I think it's just like recognizing like how, and a lot of us just didn't learn how to do it.
And that's the thing. It's
right.
It's not, like I said, it's not taught, and it's not, oddly for me, it's hard to understand, but it's not common sense. It really isn't.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, isn't it? It's interesting. Just think about discipline and like what you learned about. When I was a kid, we were, as kind of we would go to church all the time. And one of the things that my parents did was everything that I earned, usually from, mowing the lawn or chores, different things like that. We put, like 10% of it was to like give like the tithing kind of idea, like the church has. And then we had a spending part of it that we could just go and buy, I don't know, bubble gum or whatever we wanted to, or whatever little, and then a savings, like, and we weren't, just leave that alone. And I always kind of liked that idea. And I don't think, tithing, whatever, that's something that some people really are into with their money, giving to a church or a organization, or,
some sort of foundation of
charity or whatever.
Yeah.
But the idea, I think, is the same. It's like understanding like, okay, here's how the energy moves in these areas. And, I think it's interesting that like in like biblical discussions, or, as an example, talking about like giving 10% out, like, it's like, this isn't yours. It's like something you just give. And,
yes.
they said, give it to God, and okay, God doesn't need your money, but,
right.
Right. That's silly. And, of course, now the churches and all that is a different situation, but I think just the idea of what that means from an energetic, like, that's the stuff that goes out and serves whatever you want it to.
Yeah. And that's part of that energy that's coming back. And like I said, that's the, for me, especially, and that's what I talk to people and I'm like, like giving out. When the more you make, the more you can go ahead and help.
Right.
And that to me is that tithing at 10% or whatever it ends up being is, even if it's just taking somebody to dinner, or I've even done a couple like pro bono, some work out in the field for people building the fence, whatever. And they're like, I know they don't have much money, but I want to pay you, Shane. No. That's fine. I'm just going to help you out. It's okay. I have money. I'm going to help you out because you need this. And they're even trying to, even if it's like they want to pay materials, I'm like, no, this is something you need. I've been blessed with things that have happened with me, and we've had our ups and downs, but I want to help. And the more I be able to go out and contribute that, but again, I have to be disciplined with it. I can't just go out and Mr. Beast it, right? How much money can I make and blow on some other else? There's a point to this where Mr. Beast isn't going to be 24 years old the rest of his life. You have to have, I have to have money for my kids. I have to feed them and keep them in a house. And I want to put money away for them, so they have some sort of retirement started in college fund and whatever. There's all of that. So all of that is, and that's the next thing I was going to talk about was these groupings of where to put the money and how to, organize it is what I talk about with my kids. That discipline is more of this organization. So if you have this kind of, this kind of understanding of what needs to happen with the money, and it's more of an organization or a plan, and you have it set up where you do this every single month or every 2 weeks or whatever your timeline wants, whatever you're comfortable with doing. If you stick with that, it's really easy to start, growing it, but not only growing it, but, being able to enjoy some of it and able to help people. And you're getting in a position where you can go out and do those things. Right. Not just for yourself, but for other people. And so, with my kids, I've set that similar situation up where it's, they have an allowance, but they work for it. So there's mowing the lawn and edging the lawn. There's cleaning the bathrooms, vacuuming. They've got guinea pigs they take care of, but they have to pay for the things the guinea pigs need, food, bedding, all that stuff. So they do work in more of a bartering system where I'm not just handing them money to give it back so we can go buy the food and stuff. But all of those things, when they make that money, if they wash the car, if they whatever it is, they make any sort of money, not just from us, but anywhere. They don't get to spend 100% of that money. Right. And what I've done is I break it down and I say, you can invest 30%. So basically you're going to put 30% into a group of areas where you can't touch it. It's going to go into, like I've set up a stock accounts for them and some other investment type portfolios where they put money. And then they have 70% that sits in their little checking account. And depending on what it is, there's a breakdown of that percent of what they can actually spend. And it comes down to how much each month they've spent on things. So basically there's a cap on, if let's say it's $100 you spend in a month, then made a lot of money. And this is where it gets interesting with this discipline. Even though they've made a lot of money and they put their 30% away on each chunk that's come in, Dad, I want to buy this whatever Lego set and it's $200. How much have you spent this month? What's the cap? But I saved this, I invested this, I know. Right. This is all you can spend this month because you have a fixed income. So what's interesting to watch is the mindset of like, well, then what do I do with this money? My 30% is done. Like I've done all that already. And this is what I have left of that 30% for the month. What do you think you should do with it? And what's interesting is they have actually gone out and like given money to a couple people, friends.
Interesting. Yeah.
They've offered to help us pay for things that we need at the house.
Interesting. Wow.
They've also gone out and bought presents for each other for Christmas and birthdays. And so what starts happening is like, I can't spend this money. I can't just use it on me, but I've already maxed out my benefit, for the month as far as the investment portfolio, but I have a surplus of money.
You know what's really cool about that I hear in that mindset with them is that they understand it's just going to come back again, like exactly. or more is going to come.
More's coming,
right? So it's not like oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
Right?
It's this like, what do I do with it? I got to keep moving it. I got to keep
exactly.
And that's really a unique. That's a really unique thing, I think, to kids to get educated in early.
Yeah. And that's that relationship is understanding it's okay. Because as a kid, you're really good at just thinking it's infinite. Like whatever I can just walk around and just shows up. It's amazing how this just shows up. Yeah. I'll just go and buy candy. I'll go and buy it. But there's always going to be more. I mean, why would there not be? Right.
Yeah.
Until there's not. And they're just like, oh,
right.
I don't have any money left, but I want this video game. Okay.
Right.
What are you going to do about it? Mm-hmm. Well, I have all this money saved up. Nope.
Yeah.
That money's working on its own.
Right.
This isn't a different like, dimension. You don't have that money.
You don't have it.
So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Create more.
Right.
And then once you get into that cycle, you're right.
Thinking that way. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, oh, I want that Lego set next month or whatever. I'm gonna start
planning for it now.
I'm gonna start, hey Dad, I want to build this, or I don't know, whatever. Right. And it's like, okay, great. So you start keeping that energy moving. That's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I wish my parents would have been more taught me more of that. I'm glad they taught me what they taught me, but I think there was always more to learn on it. And I don't think they knew. No,
because most people don't have the correct relationship with money. It's really, really hard to what up, Yee? It's really hard to understand what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to like kind of start really creating this information network where it gets out like, what is this $5 that I'm holding in my hand? What the hell is this?
Right.
It's scary because I want to get this. I want to buy this thing, or I need to put this in here, but I don't know what's going to happen to it. Like it's going to be gone. It's just gone. And it's not really gone. You know what I mean? Right. It's not gone. And then what is it that I'm worried about letting go of? It's a piece of paper. And we talked about all that history, and we'll do more of that. But if you understand what's happening,
right,
you can sit back and go, it's not a problem.
Yep.
And that's why when you go out to dinner, like, and we've been out over the years many times and had in groups, and we all know how that shit show happens. The bill shows up, and you got Joe Schmo in the corner,
especially
who's had 5 beers.
Places are so much better at breaking up
now. But they didn't always do that. No. And I got so fed up with just like people are like, they've got notes and they've got calculators. I'm like, what the are we doing?
Dude,
I would just grab the bill. I'm like, here, go. Just get out of here. I want to leave. And you're like, oh my God, Shane. Hold on. Let me just, I'm like, if you haven't figured it out by now, don't bother handing me your $20 for your $45 tab.
Right.
I'm okay with it.
Right.
What I'm saying is it's okay, but
it's pretty funny.
You're having such a hard time letting go of it, even though you wanted to be here with us, enjoying ourselves. Let go. Like,
right. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Earned this to be letting squeeze it out. So they're doing everything they can to avoid dropping more than they think they should.
Yeah,
because they don't have a good with money, and that's where I'd always say it's okay. I just paid for 10 people. It'll come back, and someday I'll be sitting there and someone will do it for me, and great.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it. I'm certainly not going to sit there and chicken scratch this entire damn bill.
Right.
When you guys should have a running tally in your head of if you want to pay for something. That's why I was always like, I tell Katrina all the time, it's this relationship where it's like, you either want to pay the bill or you don't, but don't play the game of where's the wallet. It's like, you have a bad relationship with money. You either want to be like, I want to pay this because I don't care. I'm good. or you don't. Right. And again, you're having that relationship. It's like, I can't let go. It's literally under my pillow kind of things. Yeah. So
totally.
That's a good one. That's a good example. Easy go. That I let that crap go. You know what? Someday it's going to come back somewhere. AMC.
Yeah, come on, AMC, let's go.
Oh, dude, I'm sick of Emeren right now, though. Oh man. One of those moments, and even when you have an understanding and relationship and discipline, all that stuff, you have your moments. And I had my moments with the stock Emeren. It's a meme. I mean, it's the same sort of like F-boy kind of relationship with the stock market where you don't normally trade this way, but there it was.
Right.
And everything I'm looking at, I'm getting information from other guys, same thing. It's $1.50 a share at the moment. And I'm thinking, what's $1,000? Like if you think about, this is another good way to understand the discipline is $1,000 at $1.56 a share is, $1,500, right? Of an investment.
Mm-hmm.
If that stock the worst thing that can happen is the stock goes to zero. Right. Now, with a stock that's been sitting there at $1.50 a share for a while, it's trading in such a tight range. It's not you're going to lose like $30-$50 before you realize the way I've read the fundamentals, the way I've, whatever way you trade, the way I'm understanding this, I'm going to get out. Okay, I put in 1,500, I'm out with 9. I'm out with 1,000, I'm out with 1,200.
Yeah.
But what's the upside? The upside is exactly what frigging happened, which is what exactly we're looking at, like it opening up on based on all the information that you try and gather and put together. This shit ran to $19 a share.
Wow.
And then I had a second opportunity.
Oh man.
When it got shorted hard and it went to like 12. And I'm like, maybe I'll buy some now. Ran to $29. So that's the mindset is I was so bent out of shape about, I don't want to put $1,000 in here.
Totally.
Thinking if it's like a $600 stock, let's say it's Tesla or something, there's and the way that it moved, you can get clapped pretty hard.
Yeah.
I get it's a better understanding of discipline with money. But that stock's not going to drop to 10 cents. And you're going to catch it before it does, right? Based on the information we're talking. Hopefully, yeah. If you're trading that way, then you're pretty active and paying attention.
Totally.
Set your stop losses, alert yourself. I mean, technology is wonderful in the stock market these days. There's no reason you should just piss away that unless you don't care, which is okay. But that's one that was like, it was up here and I don't know what happened. There was just like this mental, synapse block. I didn't. There's at the very least $17,000 I could have made in a couple days. So that's a gut punch. That's okay. We all have our moments, but that's just another understanding of that's actually discipline, and it's discipline into not putting it out there because look what would have come back 17 times that amount. I was undisciplined and had a bad relationship and got worked, and now I'm going to be butthurt about it forever. So, what did Emeren close at today? I don't even remember. Let's look this up real quick. Oh yeah, you want to see this? Let's go actually. So that's kind of really like the understanding of money. If you have an understanding of money, then I don't want easy go. I hate that crap. Get out of my face. This is pretty funny. You're gonna love this. So let's go to, that's the 1 day. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so there you go, Dr. Matt.
Damn. Whoa. Look at that.
Bro. Yay, out of the loop. It's been interesting. I haven't been in front of it nearly as much as I want to be because I do enjoy this, but here you go.
So that's the $1.50 for ever.
Look at this. Yeah, look.
Yeah.
This is your information right here. Okay. Right. This is a 1 day chart. Easy go is easy gone. Bro, let it go. It's coming back somewhere else. It's yeah, this is it. So this is my information leading up to my information telling me everything about this. Get out of here with your ads. I don't want to pay for it now. But there it is.
Wow.
There it is. And I had not one, but 2 chances to dip. Now I wouldn't have made 17 on the second move, but I would have made 7 or 4 figures easily.
Right.
4 or 5 G's.
Wow.
There you go. You have to discipline works both ways. Discipline with money is not just hoarding. In fact, it's exactly the opposite of that. You have to move it. You got to, money is a liquid, cash is liquid. That's when we talk about your liquid assets. That's what it's free to move at your discretion.
Yep.
Other things are less liquid, right?
Yeah.
But you are free to move it. So feel free to move it. And if you felt free, then you would have made a lot of money. Or you can be bitter like me. It's okay. There's plenty of opportunities out there. Not butthurt as much. But that's
I get it.
There's a very good understanding of like where you got to be mentally with this stuff. And
for sure.
The discipline, it's about being stupid on all those different, caveats. So that's I think the most important part about, trying to be able to build your wealth is using it, just being disciplined and understanding what that truly means. People understand it as, well, oh no, I'm not spending anything.
Right.
I know plenty of people out there. Sorry. Right. It's what's here is here, but it's not going to move for you. It's more stagnant air as you continue to do it. Yeah. The longer you go about it, the worse it gets. So discipline is important. Discipline with that relationship. And if you have a good relationship with money, you will be disciplined.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Just write out a plan. And there's different ways of doing that, but you want to have different categories. Some for others, a chunk for you, and some to enjoy.
Yep.
You have to enjoy it. And God knows I love spending money on stuff like mountain bikes and skis and there's
golf clubs and
golf. Oh, dude. Don't even get me started with that.
You can you can hit my driver this weekend.
I'm going to swing it. I'm going to hit it a few times. Wait until you see my grips on my clubs.
Oh yeah.
Right on, Yee. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Thanks, Yee.
Yeah. Be safe, dude. Enjoy the sun. Get out and do some sun tanning.
There you go.
Drink your water.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait till you see my grips. Like, are you hitting with these things? What is this?
Stay out of the way. Stay out of the way.
I have a brand new golf glove.
Oh, okay.
I got it. I'm good. That's all I need.
That's all you need.
I think.
Hopefully.
It's I need a lot more than that, but that's the least of my worries.
Yeah. Cool. Well, good call, man.
Come wash my truck.
Yeah. He'll pay you $20.
Hell yeah, I'll pay you $20. GG, Yee. Hey, stop in tomorrow on the stream. I might be there. Don't buy Emran now, though. Piece of crap. Piece of crap. Yep. So all that comes back to using your brain.
Yes. So yeah. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about something that I think I see a lot in my practice, and I think is a really kind of a cool kind of concept that a lot of people just don't know about. And it's this idea that there's a lot of different ways to describe it, but one way is the gut and the brain connection. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it, but there's when we talk about the gut, we're talking about like our digestive system, right? Like we're talking about mainly our small intestine, but kind of this whole entire digestive aspect of our body. And, one of the things that's really interesting about that is that we have, it's estimated that and this blew me away when I first learned this, that the surface area of the small intestine, if you took it, because the small intestine is just really a bunch of it's a folded tube. But if you look inside that tube, there's all these little projections that kind of come off the wall. And if you zoom in further into those little, they call those villi. If you zoom into those villi, there's something they call microvilli, which are these very, very small folds within the folds. So you've got folds and folds and folds.
And she's got folds in her folds, boy.
Folds in her folds. But it's because of all those folds in there, you actually have a huge amount of surface area. And so they estimate that you have about the surface area of a tennis court. If you flattened everything out to like a single layer, it would be basically like the surface area of a tennis court, which is astounding to me just to think about that level. That's
crazy
of space, right? That's in your gut.
It's all just mushed up inside this little area.
Fold it all up, right?
Yeah.
And that's where all the assimilation occurs. So when you put the food in, it's going through all the breakdown with the enzymes and the stomach acid and all the way through. But all of the nutrients you need start to get sucked back in and moved in through the gut. And there's also an aspect of keeping away what you don't need. So that is the other really cool thing, is that you've got this, this barrier, this sort of intelligence between deciding what comes in and becomes a part of you and builds your body, and what you want to keep out and, get rid of. And so a lot of people are walking around with a really compromised barrier right there. Like it's not as healthy as it should be. There's like a lack of, maybe we could call it discipline in a way. There's like this distinction that's not being made between what we need in our body and what we don't. And people can get really chronically ill from that level of problem. And there's a lot of reasons people have that, and that's really kind of the crux of the matter, is trying to figure out what is involved with that dysfunction and what can we do to help heal it.
Yeah.
And, I kind of relate to the gut as like the front door to the body, kind of like what decides what comes in and what stays out. And so if you don't have a strong front door, you're not getting in what you need, and you're getting into stuff that you don't need, and you're not getting rid of what you don't need as easily.
Shady characters are breaking in.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, but related to this, and this is another really cool thing about what happens in the gut, not only does that assimilation occur, but you also make a lot of your neurotransmitters there. So, when we're talking about the brain, often people think of things like dopamine, or they think of serotonin. People talk about that, especially in the world of like depression and stuff like that. But really what we're talking about here is that's where all that's made. Like they estimate like 80% of all of your neurotransmitters are made in your gut. And so, and I've seen that clinically all the time, because people are anxious and depressed when their gut is really a wreck, when it's not healthy and strong. And anxiety is a big kicker. And I know that personally, like with if I notice I'm just becoming more anxious for whatever reason, I always go to my gut and I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. I ate that, or I whatever. There could be a lot of different aspects to that, but it's, working on healing that, getting that stronger, gives you more of a balance with all of that. And clinically, it's been remarkable. I've seen some people, it's like peeling them off the ceiling. They're so anxious. Really, it's like, it's hard to watch.
Well, we've seen a lot of that in the last, whatever.
This year has been crazy for that. Yep. But even prior, and sure enough, you start looking at stuff going on with their gut, and it's just a wreck. They've got out of balance, the microbiome, the microflora, the microbiome, like we talked about before, is all out of balance. Their food choices are poor. Maybe they got infections and other things going on. And it just sets them up for a pretty poor experience and of the world. Yeah, they're not able to have that kind of barrier, and it's just like everything kind of freaks them out. So, that's why I really work hard on the gut for people, for all kinds of health issues, but particularly around mental health.
But is that part of the reason why you call like the gut the second brain. I mean, there's kind of like this symbiotic relationship, but it's almost like mirror images of what's happening. Like
the way I think about it, the way I think about it is this brain tells you what is going on, like what the stimulus means. So it's like I see something, I hear something, I taste something.
Yeah.
I'm able to understand what that is. This brain is actually utilizing that information. So just like it utilizes the food, right? Takes it in. I think the relationship is kind of, and that's why like emotions and other things. I mean, people understand this. They've had for a long time. Like, we give the gut like an intelligence, right? Like we say, hey, trust your gut. Go with your gut on that. Or I had a gut feeling about that guy, or whatever, right? We have this kind of way of interacting with our gut and our experience in the world and assimilating these experiences. And when people have trauma or, serious health issues, they often have a really bad gut because, and they have that lack of, they can't assimilate their world very well. They can't assimilate their life very well. They can't bring things in and move them through properly, which is really, if you think of what digestion is, right? Putting something in, moving it through.
Yep.
And if you can't move it through, I mean, it's not unlike what we're talking about with the money, right? Bring it in, move it through.
Right.
Keep it going.
You gotta have a good relationship with what's coming in and going out.
Exactly. Yeah. And if the gut is damaged and weak and inflamed, it just makes it all much harder to do that. So, it'd be interesting to kind of, with this conversation, it makes me think, like, I wonder if improving people's gut health would improve their relationship with money.
I mean, you're talking about anxiousness. You know what I mean?
I just thought about that right now.
Yeah. Well,
anxiety.
You have that same anxiety when people tell you, this financial strife that I'm dealing with. And it literally goes directly to their stomach.
I you know what I mean? 100%.
Yeah. We've all been there. Like it's like
it's
a kick in the gut.
Yeah. So if your gut was better, healthier, I mean, what would your experience be, right? Like, does it mean it's going to change what happens with the money maybe, but maybe you're feeling more.
I think you would have a clear first brain. Yeah. If it's more balanced when you're absorbing this information of, why is this stressful? What is happening?
Yeah.
You're able to combat the bad stuff a lot easier if that's stronger, and that anxiousness is easier to deal with.
Yeah.
If you don't, because I think what happens too, and I've seen this with even my own family, my son in particular, you start this vicious cycle. It's like, just over and over again, where I'm nervous about something, my stomach gets upset. I'm out doing whatever, whether it's playing sports or school or whatever it is, and now my stomach's upset, and now I'm worried about my stomach, which makes my stomach worse. And it's just like you can't get out of it. And so what's the technique to stop the stomach to then get it clear? So he's worked through some things. We've helped him with that. But I think with a lot of adults, it's definitely stuff that they're eating and putting in there. And what's not just that, but just environment and getting in there and screwing things up. Medications. Yep.
All kinds of things. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to our microbiome conversation we had a few times back. Yeah. I mean, how balanced is all that?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a really important, I think, distinction around our health and our gut and our brain and how it's really about the experience of what's going on in the world.
And, right.
And there are challenges, there's always going to be challenges. So do you have the physical fortitude by your gut health to handle it? And are you learning the tools and the skills to mentally heal and move through and cope and, things like that? I mean, so
what are the things that people can do to kind of work on their, like, not just, mentally up here, but what are things they can put in their body, work on to kind of build up that health of the gut back up? What are things that can be physically going out and doing?
Well, the first is recognizing that that's really a core thing that needs to be looked at. And so the first thing I would really look at is diet. It's like what you're putting in your body. And I also think like digestive function. So like certain aspects of the function of the digestion, meaning the enzymes, the bile, the different things that the stomach acid, the things that need to be stronger for a lot of people, is that working better? So supporting those areas, reestablishing good bacterial balance and getting rid of yeast and a lot of other things can really, really help as well. You know what? It looks like I might, let me go grab my cord really quick. I'm about to lose power.
You're going to lose power. You have a terrible relationship with your computer, Dr. Matt.
I know. A second. I'll be right back.
Right on. No, I'm just kidding. You know, here's a fun fact. Thinking of that song, which is the Jeopardy theme song, if you guys know, the Jeopardy theme song is exactly 30 seconds. And they wrote that song to make it a 30-second think session for whoever's guessing on whatever. I don't remember Jeopardy very much, but whatever they're guessing on, it's exactly 30 seconds. Do you know that?
Was it 30?
I would, yeah. Anyway. Well, I was saying that I was humming the Jeopardy theme song.
Oh, perfect.
And the Jeopardy theme song, fun fact, is exactly 30 seconds long.
30 seconds, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good.
So there you go. I don't think it was even 30 seconds.
I didn't think my
you're so fast. It's because your gut's in good shape, and
that's right,
man. Yep.
But yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, you know, and it's so crazy to me. I mean, the things that we do just to damage our gut, you know, and the foods that we eat, and the toxins in our world, and I mean, all these things have made it really challenging, I think, for a lot of people. And so you start to see people have such issues with anxiety and with depression, and you know, it's not as simple as just, hey, you need an anxiety med or an antidepressant. I mean, maybe you do, but it's not just that simple, in my opinion.
No, and those are like, if they're using those are tools temporarily,
hopefully
to help you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what they're supposed to be, to get you to a level where you can now start working towards it on your own. And this is not a solution long term. This is just like get you started.
Unfortunately, often is, but lazily done that way in medicine. You know, I think instead of really trying to look at it as a. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously more than just anxiety and depression. But I always like to bring that kind of as a example that people just don't really realize. You know, particularly about, serotonin is one of the things that, you know, we talk about in depression being low, which actually we don't really know that for sure. That's actually we think so, but we don't. It's never been really established that here's the level you should be at, and here's where you are, and now you're depressed. Like that's never been established.
Yeah, I've never understood that anyway, because there's thresholds for things that we measure for all kinds of stuff in the body.
There's no measurement for that.
How do we know? I mean,
there are ways to understand some of that stuff, but to say that means this, you know, we haven't ever established that. So really what, like for example, like the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, like the SSRIs and some of these different things, those are people report feeling better. So we say, oh, well, that just means, you know, that this is higher now. And so, okay, maybe that's true. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying we've never really fully understood the exact mechanism of that's going on there and what those levels actually mean. And it's one of the only things in medicine, well, not the only thing, but it's a very, I'm trying to think, it's a medication that's very much prescribed based on symptoms, not any sort of objective data, which is interesting to me. You know, a lot of medications and the stuff I do outside of medications, you know, we do based on some level of objective testing and data. It's like, oh, you're high here, you're low here. We'll do this. And with like those sorts of things, we just go on symptoms. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And okay, here, take this. Oh, now I feel better. Okay. But again, it's the as a naturopathic doctor, my thought process goes to the why, like, why is it that way?
Right.
Like, what's going on? What's low in your body? What's high in your body that you might need to get rid of? What's, all these different things. And that's where the gut comes to play, and that really trying to understand that gut brain connection.
Yeah.
So, and when you get, when you really understand, that's why I brought up the whole surface area tennis court thing. Like, if you really get that, you got this humongous thing inside you.
Right.
Is potentially
squished down and wrapped up. And it's like, sounds like a hot mess of just trying to navigate through and get everything where it needs to go. But that's in that tight little space.
That's the really beautiful thing, is that it knows exactly what to do, right?
Sure.
You don't have to micromanage it. Thank God. Right. But we also have to do the things that support it and heal it. And it heals quickly. It heals very quickly. It's not for the most part. I mean, it's a very resilient part of our body. But it takes something. It takes engaging in a lot of the stuff we talked about, like foundational stuff, health stuff that we talked about last week, and really trying to relate to it differently as far as what it's doing for us, for our mental health, for our just all kinds of things. It's not just mental health, obviously, but
it's the gut is, it's really, for me, it's really interesting because it's one of those, I can kind of navigate where my mental state is too. I don't get the really, really like intense, cramping and other symptoms that people get, but it gets fluttery when I know, and usually it comes in balance with, I'm stressed about something, but at the same time, it's, I can look back and, say, all right, well, what's my diet been like the last week or the last few days? Why is this bothering me more than it did before? Why is this, like, even today, I'm kind of like, well, what's going on down there? Maybe it's something down there. I don't know. I have a feeling it's just allergies, because I can literally feel it right here and right here, right now. It's just congestion, but what else is going on? And so it's a good indicator for me of, all right, let's focus back on what I've put in my body, and let's focus back on why is this important, and try and get to a good relationship again, where it's connection between the two of these things. And usually if I'm aware of that, it helps.
Most people have, I always have to remind myself, because I have, the clients, patients that come in to see me have an awareness of a lot of this stuff, but many people don't connect the idea of what they eat and drink as affecting their health, which is, it's hard for me to realize that, but they do. It's so wild to me.
There's so many people that think that way.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up the whole sinusy thing too, because what's connected to your gut is your upper part of your airways, right? Like that's where everything's coming in.
Right.
And so allergies, sinus problems, all these things are often connected to the gut being, connected to the gut being out of balance. And there's a really classic thing that I see frequently with people that have sinus problems, is they'll have a sinus, say it's a sinus infection, right? Impacted, painful. And what do? They go get antibiotics, which they feel better. That clears it up. But what do antibiotics end up doing is also damaging the gut health. The good bacteria and other things get out of balance because of that. So now that's not working great. Maybe they're putting in foods that aren't good for them, or they're not digesting well. Guess what happens 3 months later?
They get a sinus infection.
Back into the sinuses again. And they go through the whole cycle over again. And I guarantee you that, people that have I've just seen it over and over again. It's like clockwork, like 3 to 4 months, another sinus infection, another round of antibiotics, and it's like, well, okay, hold on, time out. We got to interact. We got to get in there somewhere and disrupt this pattern. And when people understand that sinus stuff is gut stuff, it's like, then it's like, oh, okay, I got to heal the gut first.
Right.
And it works. I had a guy come in about a year and a half ago with this just chronic and over again sinus stuff, just couldn't get over it, and he was like exhausted because of it, like he just couldn't function.
Oh yeah, I mean that mentally will wear you out.
Mentally, I mean, he was in his early 60s and active, and generally fairly healthy, and he just had such a poor gut and digestive function. We got that stronger. He's doing great as far as all that goes. I mean, it's not, he has his moments, and but he's got his life back, just from healing his gut, and that's, his mental health is better. His job is better. His relationships feel better. He's not, constantly, running back and forth to get antibiotics and all the other stuff, which anyway, I've had lots of cases like that over the years. So,
and once you get people to that point where they're understanding this relationship and this connection, they start kind of thinking more about, maybe I shouldn't be eating those things. Maybe I shouldn't, whatever. I mean, for me, like, I love hot things. I like really spicy food. I like hot sauce. I'm all about all the sauces. But I know if I go a few days of like saucing things up, it will wreck me. I mean, like literally lights my gut on fire. And I have this picture of like the lining of my gut just like burning down until it's like getting thinner, and like anything else you put in there, just like, whoa, hey, we're not ready for anything right now. What is wrong with you? Put water in here, put out the fire, and then we can discuss maybe eating again. But until and Katrina makes fun of me all the time because she's like, are you sure you want to have that? Why?
Right.
Well, this is what you had for lunch, and this is what you had for dinner last night. And I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of hot food. Maybe I'll forego the jalapenos tonight. You're right. Because she's like, I'm just saying, you're going to be in that shape tomorrow. So just, I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm just telling you to think about it. Yep. Yep. But it fatigues me. I mean, when that happens, don't come crying to me. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. But it does fatigue. I mean, I feel physically tired.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
And then what happens when you're physically tired? Everything else kind of,
it's hard,
more sensitive. It's hard to focus. You get more frustrated, on down the road. And then 3 days later is before you're recovered because of all of that. So,
yeah, well, that's why too, it's like so important to like heal it and get it stronger. So you have more resilience.
Occasionally. I'm not an idiot. I'm just stubborn.
But yeah, so I mean, that's like we talked about with and a lot of people don't. It's taken them a long time to get where they are with their gut health, and it's obviously doesn't turn around overnight. But so yeah, I would just encourage anyone dealing with, well, the naturopathic kind of mantra was always, when in doubt, treat the gut. So like if you don't know what else to do for somebody,
start there.
Treat your gut, and you'll probably get somewhere. And I've seen that over and over again with people. Really complicated cases. It's like, oh God, where do we start? Like, what is going on with this person? It's like, I don't know yet, but I know if I improve the health of their gut, their digestion, their elimination, that's going to have downstream effects to their mental health. That's going to have downstream effects to their immune system. I mean, that's another thing I could mention here. I should have probably earlier. I mean, like 75-80% of your immune system is in your gut. Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
So
think about that.
But why would that be? Think about it being the front door to your body. Like it's you're putting stuff into your body that's not you. That isn't you. Your body will use it. It will break it down and put it into components it can use, but it isn't you. And so it has to have the ability of the immune system to be able to, clear away the things that need to be cleared away. And so, anybody with chronic infections, chronic viral problems, chronic, I don't know, whatever, often their gut is compromised and their immune system is so out of whack and isn't communicating properly to allow it to fully heal, and resolve these sorts of issues. So, when you get that, I mean, that's a huge step in healing a lot of health issues for people.
Yeah.
At least getting it down to kind of a baseline, and then you can start to build from there.
Right. Yeah. No, it's something that I don't think people understand, and it's certainly most people abuse on some level. They abuse the gut. And then they question what's going on, and I'm having this issue. I mean, my dad's a prime example of that too. And like, this shouldn't be this hard to understand. I mean, come on, man. I'm having this, I'm having that. I understand that. Mm-hmm. Let's just, it's as simple as just start it with the things you're putting in your gut.
Right.
What are you eating? Stop drinking this. It's frustrating, but
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I hear you, but so that would be that's kind of foundational naturopathic work, is really gut stuff. But I like to help people understand why. Mm-hmm. It's not just that I want you, pooping better, which, I do,
sure. That's part of it,
but it's a lot more than just that.
Mm-hmm.
It's, it's the connection of your immune system, the connection of your neurotransmitters and your hormones and all of that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And water. Make sure you're drinking the right kind of water. Don't forget about that.
That's right.
There's the link to the single unit filter. You can click on that. And if you don't have one, go get one. It's a good idea.
It's a good investment.
Yeah. It's a good investment for your gut and for your brain and for your body and whole. Drink good water. We talk about filtered water, but it's not filtered. It's organized the right way, because purely filtered water is not good for you either. So you want just all the nastiness we put in the water that we have to treat because people are destroying it on the way to our house. To do the best we can, but check that out. It's a good idea to have one of those. I do encourage, on some level, cleaning up the water before you drink it. Drinking under the faucet's probably not the best idea, although I do that a fair amount.
I believe it's safer here than in some places.
Yeah, some states are better than others, like here. But anyway. But appreciate everybody stopping by.
Yeah.
Enjoyed this one for sure. I of course, once again, learned something from Dr. Matt, so always good. Make sure, if you're sitting here and you're kind of sitting in the shadows, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That will tell you when we go live on Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. If you enjoyed the sustenance of this episode or others, hit the thumb. If you got any questions, you can definitely hit in the chat now, or you can drop them in the comments below as well. But we are here live every Wednesday,
yes.
5 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Dr. Matt, always a pleasure.
Yes, thank you, my friend.
I look forward to slapping the ball around with you on the golf course this weekend. It's going to be interesting. I haven't played a whole lot at all in the last couple of years, so
me neither.
Embarrassing, but we're going to go out and have fun doing it.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, me too. It'd be good.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Here's our IGs.
Yeah.
Go follow us there. If you got questions, Dr. Matt's got plenty of answers for you. And then if you're talking about digestive gut health and you need some more information, hit him up on the website as well.
Yeah.
You guys know where to find the merch for me. Don't forget, there it is. If you want some, great. If not, we'll see you next week. Dr. Matt, enjoy your evening.
You as well. I will see you soon.
Sounds good, bud.
All right, man.
Later.
See you guys.